In this chapter, we're going to look at something called polynomial division. Polynomial division is like an algebraic equivalent of numerical division, and it's a really useful skill when it comes to factorising higher order polynomials that are harder than quadratics like cubics and quartics. Ultimately, it's going to allow us to factorise these and solve cubic and quartic equations. It's also going to allow us to do some quite sophisticated things with algebraic division. There are a couple of different methods for doing this, and as you'll see, I'm going to show you one of them. At the end of the chapter, though, I'm going to have a video in which I'll go through the alternative method fully if you prefer that way of doing things. Let's get started. Okay, so to begin with, let's consider a very simple question. How do we factorise this quadratic here? Well, you probably know the rule for this by now, which is you're looking for two numbers which multiply to give this number at the end and add to give this number here. And in this case, it's x minus 2, x minus 5. So there it is factorised, and of course if you wanted to solve an equation where this expression was equal to 0, you could now do so. Now, that rule there works simply because when you expand this, you multiply these two numbers, and that's what gives you the constant at the end, and you add and you get minus 2x and you get minus 5x, which gives you the minus 7x. But can we extend that up into higher order polynomials like cubics or quartics? Well, sometimes we can, sort of. So if you look at this cubic equation here, could we factorise this? Well, there's one factor which should hopefully jump out at you, which is x. We can actually factorise out an x, and what we're left with is x squared plus 3x minus 4, and this factorises further because that quadratic equation factorises as x plus 4, x minus 1. So in some instances, it is pretty easy to factorise a cubic. But that's definitely not always the case. So have a look at this one here. How do we even begin to factorise something like this cubic equation? Well, it's really hard to know where to start. I mean, we could guess. We could say we could imagine that there are 3 brackets like this, and we could maybe start trying to see something that works, but it's going to get really complicated really quickly. So polynomial division is going to come to our rescue here. Now, in order to get started with this, with the polynomial division, we actually do need to know one of the factors. So I'm going to tell you for free that x minus 2 is a factor of this cubic equation. Okay, so this cubic equation can be written as x minus 2 multiplied by something. Now, what is the something here that we can multiply it by? Well, you can look at the leading term to figure this out. So the leading term is x cubed. That is only going to appear if we multiply x here by an x squared in this bracket. We can also see that there can't be anything bigger than an x squared, like an x cubed, because otherwise we'd get x times that and we'd get bigger powers here. So the leading term in this bracket must be x squared. So that tells me that I'm multiplying this x minus 2, which I remember I told you was the factor, by a quadratic. So this is going to be some kind of quadratic, so I'm just going to write quadratic here. And so x minus 2 multiplied by a quadratic will be equal to this. Now, later on in this chapter, I will suggest ways that you might sort of guess factors, but for now, I'm just giving you for free that that's a factor. Now, the reason why this is called polynomial division is that if I want to know what this quadratic is, I can, of course, rearrange this so that quadratic is equal to x cubed plus x squared minus 9x plus 6, all divided by x minus 2. So the process that I'm going to show you is this division here. How do we actually divide this cubic equation by this linear term here in order to figure out this quadratic? All right, now there are 2 great methods for doing this. One of them is the standard method you'll see in a textbook, and that's sometimes called long division. The other method for doing this is the grid method. Now, I am going to work primarily with the grid method here. I think it's a much easier method. I think you'll make fewer mistakes. I think it's easier to remember, and just all round, I think it's a better way of doing things. That said, the long division method does seem to be the more common method shown in textbooks. If you know the long division method and you like it, feel free to use it. I'm going to put an extended video at the end of this chapter where I'm going to go through lots of examples using long division. But for the rest of the chapter, I'm going to be working in grid method. So if you know that you want to use long division, you can just jump ahead, watch that video so you can practice using long division, and then you can come back and work on the rest of the chapter, but just bearing in mind that you're going to be using the long division method, whereas I'm going to be using grid method. Of course, they give the same result, and the fundamental maths behind them is the same. It's just a different way of presenting them. Okay, so let's talk through what this grid method is. Now, grid method is something that is used in multiplying earlier on in school. So, for example, in primary school, you may have even used grid method to multiply numbers. For example, suppose you wanted to work out what 13 times 19 was. Something that's kind of awkward to do in your head and maybe long-winded to write down in some ways. Well, the grid method version of doing this would be to split 13 into 10 and 3, and to split 19 into 10 and 9, and then just fill in this grid by multiplying the rows and the columns. So 10 times 10 is 100, 10 times 9 is 90, 10 times 3 is 30, and 3 times 7 is 27. 3 times 9, sorry, is 27. And then you just add up all the stuff you see here. So 100, 190, add that 30 is 220, add that 27 is 247. Now just do a little check on my calculator, check I haven't embarrassed myself. Yep, 247 is the answer. Grid method is also used to multiply algebraic terms. So suppose I wanted to multiply x plus 3, and I wanted to multiply that by x squared minus x plus 1, something like that. It's actually great using the grid method here, and it's a really good way of ensuring you don't make mistakes, particularly when you're multiplying out really big, like quadratics by a linear term, that sort of thing. So how do we do it? Well, it's the same principle, which is we form a grid, and we're multiplying x plus 3 by x squared minus x plus 1, and we fill it in. So x squared times x is x cubed, and x squared times 3 is 3x squared, and negative x times x is negative x squared, and negative x times 3 is minus 3x. 1 times x is x, and 1 times 3 is 3, and then we add up what we see. So we've got x cubed, and then the x squared, you kind of look along this diagonal. That's going to be a useful thing later on to notice they're on diagonals. So negative x squared plus 3x squared is 2x squared, and x minus 3x is minus 2x, and then there's a 3 at the end here. Okay, so that's a grid method for multiplying. We're basically going to do this process in reverse. So it's like we're going to start with the answer in the center of our grid, and we're going to have one of the factors here, and we're going to try to figure out what the other factor is up in the top row. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to work out this one here. So, well, maybe this line is actually the easier one to look at. So we know that this cubic, x cubed plus x squared minus 9x plus 6, is x minus 2 multiplied by some quadratic. I'm going to try to figure out what that quadratic is. So I can set up my grid like this. So x minus 2, and the answer is going to be appearing up in this top row. Okay, and the cubic equation is going to be inside this grid, in the center of it, just like this cubic equation here was inside here. But as you can see over here, it's sort of chunked up into different bits. So we can't just write this down immediately. But notice that when we did it over here, our only cubic term, like the x cubed term, was always in the top left, because that's where the two biggest powers met. So that's going to be the same here. Our leading term here, which is also x cubed, has to go here, because that's only going to appear by multiplying x by the highest powered term here, which is x squared. So I know that it's going to be x squared here. But the rule is that to fill in our grid, it's always the term over on the left multiplied by the term up at the top. So x squared times minus 2 is minus 2x squared. Okay, but what did I actually need? I needed 1x squared, and so far I've got minus 2x squared. Notice that we're adding together all the x squareds here. So what kind of term do I need here such that this plus this term here gives me my x squared there? Well, it's going to be 3x squared, because 3x squared plus negative 2x squared is plus x squared. Okay, but now I can see what's got to go up here, because x multiplied by something had to give me 3x squared. So the something up here is 3x, because 3x times x is 3x squared. Okay, but now I can fill in this square, because 3x times minus 2 is minus 6x. But how many x's did I actually need? I needed minus 9x, and I've got minus 6x here. So I need another minus 3x, another minus 3x, because then minus 3x plus another minus 6x is minus 9x. So what goes up here? Well, x times what gives me minus 3x? It's minus 3. And finally, I can do negative 3 times negative 2 is 6. And we just did a little check to see whether that was what we got. Yeah, okay, that matches. If this didn't match with here, it would actually mean that x minus 2 doesn't go into this exactly. You can't divide it, just like you can't divide 15 by 2, right? You get a remainder if you do that. More on remainders later. All right, so our answer is now up at the top here. What we've discovered is that that cubic equation, x cubed plus x squared minus 9x plus 6, can be factorized as x minus 2 multiplied by x squared plus 3x minus 3. Alternatively, we can write that as a division, which is the x cubed plus x squared minus 9x plus 6 divided by x minus 2 is x squared plus 3x minus 3. So that is the grid method for doing polynomial division. I hope it seems intuitive to you. We're going to do lots of examples so you can get familiar with it. But also, as I said, if you really want to use long division, so this method over here, that's totally fine. Some people just prefer it, and of course some of you might be learning this at school, or maybe your teacher has said that's the method you need to use. I'll have an extended video at the end of the chapter where I'll go through loads of examples for you to practice. But for the rest of this chapter, I am going to be working with grid method, because personally, I think it's a better method, and I think you'll make fewer mistakes and it's easier to remember. But each to their own, so skip to the end of the chapter if it's long division that you want to use. All right, hope that was useful, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll look at some more examples of this.